Hello everyone, Kaiden Asteria here, and I want to talk about a potential story idea for Dawntrail. This expansion's raid tier has been amazing. The visuals were great, the music was just going hard, the bosses have unique and fun mechanics, making you think on your feet even in normal, and visually... Apparently the Savage wasn't actually that hard, but coming from a story player, I can say that with the difficulty ramped up in the expansion itself, the raid tier was at the very least fun. But what I want to focus on is the story, and mainly on the idea that Eutrope, or Wicked Thunder, would be the ideal penultimate boss of this raid series. To explain why, I will have to spoil the story for this raid tier, so if you haven't done it, I do recommend you do it. Now to recap, after defeating Queen Sphene and returning to Solution 9, we learned that the Arcadion has reopened. The Arcadion is essentially a fighter's arena where Alexandrians will use the stored souls of feral beasts to enhance themselves with the contained power to do combat for entertainment. Metem, the handler and announcer, announces the reopening of the Arcadion, and we are invited to join in and rise up through the ranks. Since we don't use the regulators during combat, he offers to lend souls to help us fight. Noticing our reluctance at using the souls, he puts us at ease by offering to release all of them after each victory. We face off against 4 opponents in this tier: Black Cat, or Yana, who uses Cat Paloob, Honeybee Lovely, who uses a Queen Bee Soul, Brood Bomber, who uses a Bomb King Soul, and Eutrope, better known as Wicked Thunder, who uses the Soul of Elevensteed. Wicked Thunder is a major focus for this portion of the story, as she was not just the eldest sister of Black Cat and another character named Mayumi, but was once a fighter in the heavyweight division and was actually going to be immortalized as a reward for being presumably a champion, or at the very least a great and entertaining fighter. Immortalized in this context is being invited to live in Everkeep's highest level and live a life of comfort. However, she disappeared mysteriously before that could happen. So when she does reappear to fight us, it leads us, Yana, and Naomi to try to understand the full story. We learn in and out of the fight that Eutrope is desperate, and I mean desperate, to feed and obtain our soul.
I need your soul!
When asked, she reveals that the reason she vanished was because she discovered the truth about the fighting and the usage of souls. Excess usage of feral soul transfiguration causes a disease called psychonecrosis, resulting in the soul of the user degrading and ending with death. As for immortalizing, it was no life of luxury, but imprisonment and confinement until the user eventually dies. This was something she discovered when she had snuck into the president's office seeking a solution. Since she didn't find the answer she wanted, she disappeared and went to look for a cure. Eventually she did find one. Look for a soul dense enough to theoretically cure the disease. And where else would she find said soul but in us? Yana tells her that it's not right to use our soul to save herself, but Eutrope counters, saying in anger that Yana has no idea how it feels to have your soul eaten away. The conversation is interrupted when a sound is heard causing Eutrope to flee. Metem, who overheard the conversation, says they had no idea of the truth of immortalization and offers a deal that we continue to fight and reach the top. Especially since if we try to make the information public, it's more likely the president will have everyone who knows about this killed off. By winning fights and eventually reaching the top, we can get access to all the souls in the repository and free them. At the same time, Yana suggests she and Naomi try to find an alternative cure for Eutrope. So that's essentially the story. Coming off of that, the idea seems to be that we are going to face the president as the ultimate big bad in the third and final set, after discovering who he or she is in the second set of Arcadion raids. Whereas Eutrope may either not show at all, or will be a rematch in the final tier in either the first, second, or third. But I would like to make the argument that, from a story point of view, Eutrope should be the true final boss. My reasoning is that so far in all the raid series, there has been a story the fights are built around, and in this case with Dawntrail exploring the morals and conflicting ideals of using these souls, Eutrope has more emotional stake in this than anyone else. Now granted, we don't have much on the President, and don't know their motives, which could turn out to be something more compelling. But if we make the assumption that they could be a fun but non-compelling villain, then Eutrope would make more sense. The idea is that by the end of it, even after defeating the President and getting access to all the souls, Naomi and Yana don't find the cure. Despite our good intentions and hard work, it's too late for Eutrope, and just as in Dawntrail, Sphene and Wuk Lamat couldn't truly coexist, we have no choice but to face off one last time against Eutrope. This would result in a tragic story, but it would be more compelling, I think. Don't get me wrong, this can still be done where she is the final raid boss, and we still find the cure by the end of it. But making her the final fight means that there is more emotional weight on all ends for all characters. In terms of gameplay, it could be really cool as well. Since by the end we would have access to all souls in the repository, including the feral ones, it could be that Eutrope in the final fight uses every single soul that we faced up to her fight and rotates between them. Essentially, we would see her use Black Cat from AC1, Queen Bee from AC2, Brute Bomber from AC3, and the future beast forms including whatever the President will use. It would be a culmination of strategies from previous fights combined in one without even being an ultimate. So yeah, that's just something I thought to bring up as an idea, and as I am saying this I realize that even if it's not used this time, this could make for a good alternative story for the future ultimate from Dawntrail. Make the ultimate a tragedy, and this time around have a good ending. So what did you think of this? Would you prefer seeing it this way, or would you want the President to be the final boss? Do you have another idea? Let me know in the comments. That was all for this video, thank you for watching, and I will see you some other time.